Hello and welcome to The Nerdy Show. Finally, we're doing a live show. I am your host, Troy Stark, as you may know, and in Nerdy Show terms, they call me the Captain. We're going to try a bunch of new things tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here's the thing. In nerdy culture, we've always been the people that have been trying to find undiscovered content, like the stuff that people would normally overlook. And this week, we're going to focus on Canadian content because, let's admit it, back in the day, if you were a Spider-Man fan, you were the underdog, but now Spider-Man movies are the biggest blockbusters of the summer. So nerdy has kind of shifted in those terms. So I think it's time to turn over some overlooked stones and find some gems in the Canadian content world. It's going to be a really fun show. And this episode is called Canadian Content Warning, I hope for obvious reasons at this point. We got a very special guest coming up. You got to get ready for this. It's a tarantula wearing a top hat. Have you ever seen that shit before? It's incredible. Get ready for a good fucking time. Here we go. No. And we're here with Serag Meletian, our chief technician.
Yes, I'm here wearing a bandana.
Huge intro.
Oh yeah, baby.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Troy? How's it going, my lover, my best friend, my cutie patootie?
Awesome. I don't know if I've ever been called that before, but I like it. I've been missing the Nerdy Show, dude. We've been locked up and we've been wanting to do something, but it never seemed like the right idea. So we finally found the right idea and I'm fucking pumped.
We figured now is the time to be talking about Robert Pattinson as Batman. We figured now is the time to be talking about all
I finally have an opinion on that. But hold on real quick. We can't do the Nerdy Show without our agent of F.I.E.L.D, Reese Turner. Is it working?
Where is he?
Reese, I see something.
Oh!
Yes!
Hey! I thought my eyes were just closed, but it was the light.
I got you. It's been a while. There's going to be some kinks.
Yeah, a little bit rusty. What's going on, guys?
Oh, man. I'm just pumped. It feels so good to have the nerdy gang back in action. You know what I mean?
Right?
It doesn't feel like that we're back in town. As it would,
yeah, the boys
are back in town.
Are back in the city.
That's I think that's
the popular saying.
That's the saying we've all heard a lot of times for sure. So yeah, any big news in your guys' world? I know, Reese, you just made a big move. You were technically you were our agent of F.I.E.L.D as just a title, but now you're actually out there.
I'm out there. I'm in the field. I'm in the shit. I live in Metropolis now.
Yeah, that's where you moved to?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking dope.
Metropolis, Ontario.
There's a little bit of shit going on, but it's pretty okay. It's pretty tight. Pretty tight.
The Art Deco is nice.
They got Coke here too.
Get out.
In Metropolis?
Ontario. Yeah. But it's still got the cocaine in it. So if I'm acting erratic, that's why.
By the way,
I don't know you as a Coke guy, but
no, I love the soda.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna be going through off on all kinds of crazy tangents. I'm sure.
For asking how I'm doing, Troy. Let's keep
Serag, I've known you for years, and you've never said anything but pretty good.
No, let's be real. I'm doing fine.
I ask you how you're doing, you're like, pretty good. Every time.
You didn't ask me if I moved.
I know that you didn't. I can see the room that you're in, and I've been in that place before. I know that you haven't moved.
Hey, how do you not? Hey, man, there might be some white walls in.
Okay, hold on. Serag, did you move?
No, I didn't.
Any big news in your life? I'm glad that we haven't seen each other in 4 months and the relationship hasn't changed at all. So let me. I got some breaking news here. Unfortunately, I promised you guys a tarantula and a top hat, and
Are you serious?
I just got
The
the
only reason I
email.
did it. It's the only reason I fucking did this.
I made promises I couldn't necessarily keep for our first show, so I've got an awesome fill-in guest. He was the one that emailed me that the tarantula wasn't making it, so maybe there was something shady going on there. But our guest of the week this week is going to be Lawrence Corber.
Oh, Lawrence Corber. He's got almost as many legs as a spider.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring him in. Lawrence. Oh,
we don't got a spider in a top hat, baby. We got Lawrence in a fedora.
You got Lawrence in a fedora, huh?
nice. Now,
Chuck that
Lawrence, word on the street is it was your birthday this week.
It was.
Happy birthday, Lawrence. Lawrence, it's your birthday.
I'm pretty sure that song got canceled a while back.
Shit!
Thank you. It was my birthday on Sunday, yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah, dude.
How'd that go? I saw some pinatas in the park photos.
Yes, we did some drinking in the park, and I drunkenly swung at a couple pinatas. Actually, a single pinata. It was a pinata.
But you took a couple swings, I hope.
I took a couple swings. Vance Michelle, shout out to our buddy Vance, really opened that sucker up. He just has this old man strength that you just need when opening up a pinata, and he really leaned in. It was good.
I think I've actually never hit a pinata.
I mean, that's consistent. That's consistent with I thought that you've never done anything fun, so that makes a lot of sense. But like,
Yeah,
you can just buy a pinata. There doesn't have to be a reason for it. But
Right.
the thing that's sad is you have to fill up the pinata. I was stupid. I thought the pinata would have come full, so it was really regrettable having to make another trip back to buy things to fill the pinata.
Oh, like you
this.
got there and you were like, "This is gonna be awesome." Wait, what the hell?
No. I just like had the pinata. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this pinata, and then it's actually wonderful. Thank you, babe.
Hey!
Nice.
Followed you home.
Oh,
Well, it didn't get that smashed up. If it's still, oh no,
Oh.
it did.
look at the ass.
This is only the front half of the pinata. The other half is in the landfill in Hochelaga.
Amazing.
Nice.
Now, did you fill it with traditional pinata fare? Or did you
Yes.
do an adult pinata and fill it with like little Mickeys of booze and Rolex watches and iPods?
No. We went very traditional. I'm talking toffees, needles, shurikens, just like throwing stuff.
Just in
Very
case
simple.
anything's left at the park, it's safe for everyone, kind of deal.
Kids walk by in the park. Hey, mom, I got a ninja star. You know what I mean? And none of those dull ones, real sharp.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
So, sorry, I got a little distracted there. I got a spam email. You know those sexy spam emails that you get where it's like,
Nice.
"Hey, handsome," whatever. So I saw that pop up in the corner. I was like, "Who? Oh, spam."
I click on all of them, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm never too sure, you know? Maybe it might be luck.
I send all of my emails to Serag that way. Hey, handsome. I'm coming in town on the weekend. All the time. That's how I talk to my friends. I want you guys to feel loved.
I mean, I like that too. I think there's not enough male plutonic love in the world. So I think you need to call your friends handsome. Remind them you love them.
Yeah, exactly right. Give them a hearty handshake and a pat on the back.
I'd like to say Reese and Lawrence.
Honestly,
I love you
I
both.
think there's
Love you too, brother.
like
Love
a
you too,
strong
buddy.
friend.
Up there, up in the corner.
Yeah.
One second.
Yeah.
What's that,
I'm
Serag?
just trying to perpetuate male-on-male massages. That's all. Anyway.
High five.
Oh.
Do it like that. I'm trying to do the mime thing, and I'd be a terrible mime.
So
Yeah,
just
we
to
don't
know,
really-
Ow.
we'll work it out. The spatial, the digital space. Well, it's reversed. So just a note: if you're watching online, if you comment anything particularly hilarious, I'll bring it up and we'll talk about it. Which hopefully will come in play a little bit later on when we're doing our top 10 list and that other stuff. But for now, I've prepared a little mini game for you guys.
Nice.
You want to jump right into it?
Yes, fuck yeah.
Let's do it.
So this mini game is called Secretly Canadian, and it was actually kind of difficult because I essentially, you'll see in the first game, but I tried to make a list of people that you might not know are Canadians, and I went through like hundreds of celebrities, and I was like, no, that's too obvious, that's too obvious, that's too obvious. And then I got to the point where I'm like, I don't know what these people know. So hopefully there will be some nice surprises in there, and it won't be a completely obvious round here. But the first round is designed to be a little bit easy. It goes like this. Here's 9 celebrities.
Yeah.
And hopefully that bar will disappear over their faces. Here's 9 celebrities. Ryan Gosling, Ryan Reynolds, Rachel McAdams, Seth Rogen, Michael Cera, Jay Baruchel, Keanu Reeves, Joe Pantoliano, Carrie-Anne Moss. Most of these people are Canadian. At least one of them are not Canadian. So now I would like you guys to figure out which one.
I guess, out of the gates, I'm going to say Joe Pantoliano, guy who dies in the Matrix.
The rat in the Matrix.
Wait, are you saying the guy with the most Italian-sounding name ever isn't Canadian?
Yeah, but
I think he's from Jersey.
Okay, he kind of sounds like he's from Jersey. But the rest of them, you believe, are Canadians?
Yeah, listen. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds, everybody knows he's the sexiest man in Vancouver.
That's right.
Rachel McAdams, everybody knows she's the sexiest woman in Vancouver. Ryan Gosling, everybody knows he's the sexiest Ryan.
Except for Ryan Reynolds.
Except for Ryan Reynolds, exactly. Seth Rogen, he's the handsomest boy named Seth that there's ever been. Who's
in Vancouver.
From Vancouver. Michael Cera, he's one of the prides of Brampton. A very odd-looking man himself. Jay Baruchel, the prodigal son of Montreal, who's fled.
There's no Brian Brampton.
Who's fled Montreal for the greener pastures of Toronto, much like myself. Keanu Reeves, the sweetest boy that's ever been sweet. Joey Pantoliano, what a piece of garbage. And Carrie Moss, is that her name?
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah. She's super Canadian.
All right. Well,
my geography teacher.
Maybe it was too easy making the only villain on the slide the non-Canadian, but I have my preferences. So I did want this round to be a little bit easy so that we would all understand how it works. But hopefully this next one is a little bit harder.
That's right. I appreciate the theme you had on that one, though. Anyway,
the Matrix, the bar of Matrix.
Yeah,
people.
The Matrix, beautiful people, and then like friends of Seth Rogen. Anyway,
that's right.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
So in this slide, we have Matthew Perry, we have Mike Myers, we have The Rock, we have Jim Carrey, we have John Belushi, and we have Jim Cameron, and we have Kim Cattrall. Nope. We don't. We have Joshua Jackson, Anna Paquin, and Jason Priestley. And which one? Sorry, at least one of them is not Canadian.
All right. To continue the theme of the last slide, Jason Priestley is the most handsome Jason that there's ever been in Ontario. No, I'm sorry.
I will say the middle row was originally going to be Jim Carrey, Jim Belushi, and Jim Cameron. For a row of Jims. But I couldn't put Jim Belushi in there over John. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
I don't blame you.
Wait, so you're? Hold on. John is the good one.
John Belushi is the good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up for debate.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Are you a Blues Brothers guy or an According to Jim guy? It says a lot about you if you choose According to Jim.
It says that you got great taste in films, friend.
So at least one of these guys are not Canadian. Can you guys figure out which one that is?
I like how you didn't That's what I just said, Troy.
I didn't clock it at all.
The Rock is a controversial one.
The Rock is controversial.
He's not Canadian. He said it himself. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I did put him there as a little bit of hopefully a landmine for you guys, but apparently you all saw that Twitter was going
Yeah, we all
nuts, absolutely nuts about The Rock. Like, he's Canadian. We're claiming him as our own. Like, God bless The Rock as a Canadian, whatever. And then he came out on Twitter and was like, my father was Canadian, but...
Well, that's because I think, wasn't that Tyler Lemko who prodded him on that? He's like, congratulations, our favorite son.
I think he might have got some interaction on that, but like it was all over Twitter for a few days. Maybe Tyler started it. That'd be very impressive.
Yeah, he's one of them blue checks there.
Oh, no,
right.
Like Tyler, Rock wrote back to Tyler, like retweeted Tyler and bonded and shit.
Bonded.
It was
Okay,
let's say for everybody.
Let's go row by row. Can we go row by row here? We're gonna start from the bottom row. I know Jason Handsome Boy Priestley is very much Canadian. Do you guys agree or disagree?
Thumbs up.
No, I think
Serag?
I think he's Canadian.
Perfect. Anna Paquin.
Seems like a good Canadian.
Anna Paquin, I don't think is Canadian.
I believe she is Canadian. Serag?
Yeah. I believe it too, for some reason. I don't know why, but I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't.
Troy, is she Canadian?
But I think she is Canadian.
Is Anna Paquin Canadian?
70%.
Yeah, she is. I'll give you that.
What?
Sweet Joshy Jackson. He's a good old Canadian boy. Captain Charlie Conway. You know, he's a Canadian boy.
Who's Charlie Conway? Oh, the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah,
Mighty Ducks.
I was literally like, that's not his name in Fringe.
Oh, no, but he was great in Fringe too. Another classic Joshy Jackson role.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Jimmy Boy, both Cameron and Carey.
Jim Carrey, Jim Cameron, Canadians.
Yeah.
Canadian.
We all wish, I think,
Legally
that John Belushi was Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Well, is he?
No, I don't think any of them were.
I mean, they're brothers, so if one is, they both are, I would think.
No, what's weird is John Belushi's American, but Jim Belushi's Canadian, which is really weird. Not many people know that absolute fact.
He was born on the Niagara Falls.
He was born on the falls. And then I don't know about Matthew Perry, but I know that Mike Myers, he's too Canadian. But I don't know about Matthew Perry. I think he is.
Okay, so verdict is you think The Rock and who else is not Canadian?
Our sweet, dearly departed Belushi baby.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm hyper patriotic.
So I didn't realize that Jason Priestley was Canadian. I didn't know that at all. And he actually directed me in an episode of Rookie Blue. I was like doing background acting for like some music festival episode of like Rookie Blue. And the director came over to me and he's like, yo, you got to be holding 2 cameras. Like you're taking photos everywhere. Like you're the party guy, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, cool, man. Like whatever. And then all the other extras came over to me after he like walked away and they're like, what did Jason say to you? Like, oh my God, it's like, blah, blah. And they were like all starstruck. And I was like, who the fuck is that guy? And they're like, And I think that maybe the only reason that he actually spoke to me that day is because I was like one of the only extras that wasn't like drooling over him. And he's like, okay, I can like, anyway, next slide.
Good one.
Here we got
Ooh,
Nathan
I don't even know
Fillion.
who some of these people are.
Okay, so we have in Stephen Amell from Arrow. We got Job from Arrested Development, or Will Arnett from Lego Masters, if you will. And then Nathan Fillion from Firefly. Then we have Paul Giamatti. We have Sean William Scott. We have Rosamund Pike. And then another name that I hate pronouncing, Kobe Smulders, Pam Anderson, and Kim Cattrall.
Okay. Bottom 3 all Canadian.
All 3.
I'm just gonna say it.
All 3.
All 3 are Canadian. Bottom.
And I'm gonna also add to that. Top 3 are all Canadian.
Correct.
We got a few comments.
About Stephen or Will.
What's that?
I wasn't sure about Stephen. I wasn't sure about Stephen or Will up top, but but if Reese says it, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. No, they're all Canadian. Yeah.
All right, Lawrence, what do you got to say about that middle row, baby?
I mean, I think Sean William Scott, I have a good feeling about him because he also shares my birthday, July 12th.
Oh.
So I feel like he's a good Canadian boy.
I'm just seeing some comments now. I think Will Noy is saying
That's Brandon Walsh, my dude. Who's Brandon Walsh?
I think that's Joshua Jackson's character from Fringe.
No.
I'm a little bit behind on the comments.
Yeah, so that was Jason Priestley in Beverly Hills 90210. I got you, Will. That's Brendan. His sister was Brenda.
See, I told you I don't know who Jason Priestley is. That only gives me credibility. Okay, so on this slide, what are you thinking?
I think the middle row. None of them are Canadian in the middle.
Rosamund Pike is not Canadian, right?
Rosamund Pike, I don't think, and I think Paul Giamatti is also not Canadian.
I don't think. Okay, this is what Troy's done. He's created a Canadian sandwich. Troy, you did it, you son of a bitch. I didn't think you could, but you did Canadian sandwich. That's what I'm calling.
So Reese says no one in the middle.
You son of a bitch.
Hold on. Wait. Colby played a Canadian on How I Met Your Mother, right?
Yeah.
But she is Canadian. Yeah.
Oh, she is? Okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, my God.
Is she, or was that just her character?
I don't know. That's what I was asking.
I do know.
I think she's Canadian.
This is
Canadian sandwich!
Yeah! Reese, you're on fire.
Look at me now.
I know every single Canadian in the country. I know them all, or even abroad. If you're Canadian, I can sense it with my nose and my eyes and my ears, probably.
So far, I haven't gotten you guys on as many as I thought. I was really hoping that Sean William Scott wearing his jersey would kind of throw you. He was in Goon, I was kind of hoping that would throw
the Canadian camouflage.
Yeah, I was hoping that I would trip you up on that a little, but you guys are, I think, batting 100 right now. This is the last one, and I think there's potential to fool you guys here. So let me bring it up. We got on screen, we have Kiefer Sutherland, Rick Moranis, Tommy Chong, Nev Campbell, Sarah Chalk, Cheech Marin, Hayden Christensen, Michael J. Fox, and Elias Koteas, also known as Casey motherfucking Jones.
This is a good panel. I like it, but I know every single Canadian on this list.
Casey Jones. He was also in that Leo movie, Shutter Island.
Really? Who was he?
Really? Who did he play?
There's only 2 characters in that movie.
He played the fucking island, guys.
I think he was maybe another.
Did he play on Island?
I think he played one of the other patients because the guard was I don't remember, but I do remember that it was half the reason I saw that movie. I was Casey Jones is in it. Let's check it.
I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna wait.
Serag, Lawrence, you got guesses?
I mean, I think I know out of Cheech and Chong, I know one of them is Canadian. I think it's Tommy Chong.
Dude,
you're right.
Yeah. So Hayden Christensen, I don't think is Canadian.
He is Canadian.
He is?
I know every Canadian, Lawrence. Never doubt me. Never doubt me. I know every single Canadian.
Nev Campbell's Canadian, right?
Also Canadian. You're right. Also Canadian.
Because the way I judge a Canadian too, if you want to know, it's I go do they look like they could have maybe hosted The Zone? And Nev Campbell looks like she would have hosted The Zone.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think she was on an episode of PJ Katie's Farm.
Maybe. Let's get the obvious ones out of the way. You've got Michael J. Fox, Rick Moranis, and relative of Tommy Douglas, Kiefer Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all Canadian.
Sarah is that? What was her last name?
Sarah Chalk.
Chuck?
Chalk.
She's definitely Canadian. Chalk?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
Roseanne's daughter. She's definitely
Roseanne's replacement daughter, actually.
Roseanne's replacement daughter.
Okay.
You need the slide still?
Cheech, we all know Cheech Marin is not Canadian. If Tommy
Okay.
Chong is Canadian, Cheech isn't Canadian.
Okay. So is there anyone else on there that's a hidden landmine for you guys?
See, like this is the only one I'm not sure of is Casey Jones, motherfucking Casey Jones, Elias Codias. I'm not
His name
too
is
sure.
Elias Codias?
Yeah, or Elias.
I think he is Canadian. He's a hidden Canadian. Like he's a hidden Canadian.
Look, if you look at him, he screams Dutch. So
nice.
I'm gonna say he's not Canadian.
He was so New York in the
honestly
Turtles.
looks like he learned English for the Ninja Turtles. Like they didn't.
In fact, if you in the actual director's cut, they explain that he actually doesn't know what he's saying. He's just using the words phonetically.
Oh,
So,
sounding it out.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what's happening.
Shit.
Yeah, he doesn't even know the plot. He doesn't know why he's hanging out with turtles at all.
He's like one of those action stars that they hire just for like the ability to do the splits or like the like backflip, and then they're like
on the back or the raid. Yeah,
he'll get the words. He'll work that out. If you can do a double backflip, you can.
Yeah, it's like me and my bar mitzvah. It's all phonetics. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna reveal. It's obviously Cheech Marin.
I was right.
Well-
He's a sneaky Canuck. I called it, baby. I know a Canadian from a mile away.
That has been our mini game, Secretly Canadian, and I think I successfully fooled none of you. Out of 36 celebrities, you got the 5 that were not Canadians. So your CanCon is pretty solid, guys.
Through the roof.
Would you say our CanCon is strong?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so now
Great game, Troy. I'm so glad.
I mean,
we're all the winners.
no one wins. There's no points. This isn't a game show. I just wanted to talk about Canadian celebrities and big up them a little bit. I think it's time that we, if a movie is made mostly in Canada, then we should call it a Canadian movie. And if it stars mostly Canadians, we should call it a Canadian movie,
Do you hear that story about Jason Priestley? A good Jason Priestley story. He was essentially blackballed from Hollywood for punching Harvey Weinstein in the face because he heard that he was a fucking creep. So when Harvey Weinstein introduced himself to Jason Priestley at a party, Jason Priestley was just like this. Oh, you're Harvey? Whack!
Wow.
I heard that. It's an article. Everybody research that shit. Jason Priestley, Dex, sex pervert, Harvey Weinstein.
Is he from Ontario?
I believe so. He's a good Ontario boy, just laying down the law.
That's the most Ontario thing I could think of is meeting a guy at the party and be like, I heard you're a piece of shit, and then cold cocking him in the face.
He dropped hockey gloves. I don't even know where he got the hockey gloves.
Yeah.
I think Ontario and Nova Scotia are the 2 punchiest provinces.
Yeah, with Alberta's 3rd, for sure.
Yeah, I might get punched for leaving them out.
I actually heard that same Jason Priestley story, but it said he punched Betsy DeVos.
Betsy DeVos.
That killed me.
Can this be a segment where we just make up really great stories about Jason Presley?
Presley?
Yeah, create urban legends around Jason Priestley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason that we couldn't, except that we've declared online here that we're absolutely going to do that. So,
we're going to give them the Chuck Norris treatment. They're going to be so outlandish, people are going to pick up on it.
Yeah.
They're going to love it. All right, I'm into that. So, while we're here, before we jump into our next thing, which is Serag's brainchild this week, I wanted to kind of just shout out or talk about whatever you want to call a few things that are happening. First off, that we all heard the Ubisoft news.
What happened to Ubisoft?
Like 3 of their executives quit because of allegations of sexual harassment. The reason I bring it up is because Ubisoft is it's a global company now, but like they have a headquarters in Montreal that is, so many creative people in this city are employed by that company. So I think that's going to change the landscape of that place for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's happening a lot now. I think there's like a whole, like shitty people being called out in, the gaming industry. And on top of like that same week where like, shit happened in comedy and also in like wrestling, it was whole, like,
they're all industries without a lot of oversight, right? Like, and now this is, I guess, how you breed accountability. But it's just, I was like looking up like Canadian content stories, and like Ubisoft kept coming up, and I was like, I guess we gotta talk about that. I mean, obviously we've probably all played several of their games, but when I was reading the article about like who it was and everything, like I didn't recognize a single name that.
No, all I know is they made Assassin's Creed, and in the Black Flag Pirate one, you see the city of Montreal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
They're bringing Clone High back, which I consider to be a victory.
I liked Clone High, but I would wish that they didn't bring it back, because like there's so many good, I think, animated shows that are waiting to get made. But they keep spending money on stuff that's already been. I already know what Clone High is. We've already seen Clone High.
Yeah,
like, but it's something new and exciting. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, but I think that they'll do completely different, insane things. Like
of course.
I will every day of the week. Like, if anyone ever hints that they're bringing Futurama back, I'm 100% on board, because like I don't care. Like, just please bring it back.
Yeah, me too. And I got a spec script for it. So
yeah,
bring it back, baby. Bring it back.
But I think there's something to be said about like people kind of redoing premises that they know work, as opposed to like making room for new things, right? Like, I think a big part of like nerd culture is the part of nostalgia, or like reliving the things that we really enjoyed.
Sure.
But I also think like just because you loved something doesn't necessarily mean it should come back. Like, like once things are completed, like let them be what they were, and then make room for new things. Like we 100%. Saw in the movie industry. In the movie industry in the last 15 years, how many sequels and reboots have we seen? And it's really kind of hamstrung the ability to make new, exciting projects that we can get excited about. So
I really agree with that. But with everything that's been happening with us being home right now, obviously theaters are taking a huge hit, and media, because of like Netflix and streaming and stuff, was already changing. I think that comic books are such like there's 100 years of backlog stories there, right? Like you could 100%. You could do so many Batman stories, Superman stories, like Spider-Man, all these things that like the
you already know, exactly
popular culture hasn't seen yet. And essentially, a 22-page comic book, 26-page comic book is like a storyboard for a 30-minute episode, right? But
what about this? Like I happened to be going through a lot of my old stuff, and I found I had a series of books called Star Wreck. Did any of you guys read that book? This was like a satire of Star Trek that was written, and it was aboard the USS Endocrine.
Nice.
And it was just a complete satire. I would like to see something like that as an adult cartoon. You know what I mean?
They're actually doing a Star Trek Below Decks cartoon, which
is, like give me like I want a straight up satire. You know what I mean? Like jam in all of my Star Trek people and just make fun of them or something like that. You know, I think
didn't they just do like the Orwell? Like wasn't that what that was meant to be?
Well, kind of. It was more, I think, of an homage to Star Trek.
But I think that's the way you need to do it, right? Like I'm actually really like I don't want to be challenged on this, but I'm one of the biggest Star Trek fans that you know. And
probably
I am actually quite nervous about Below Deck, where I wasn't for the Orwell, because I think you need that separation to be able to lampoon it properly. Like this is going to be a fun, funny show, but they can't say like Captain Picard was a fucking drunk idiot, right? Because they're in the canon. They're in, like what I mean? Like, not that he was, but like they can only talk shit about it so much and make fun of it so much before they're destroying their own brand. Where the Orwell had the look, had the sound effects, and they didn't have
that show was more of it was more of a love letter,
right?
Than like anything. I consider it like a spiritual successor to Voyager. Like this is what I consider the Orville. You know what I mean? A spiritual successor to
It's
to Janeway and her crew.
I have a pretty love-hate relationship with Seth MacFarlane content, but
Yeah, me too, definitely.
what I can say is that he absolutely is a fan. Like he loves the things he loves and is like obsessed with it. So like, yeah, it was a love letter to sci-fi, like early sci-fi, especially like the first Star Trek, Babylon 5, like these massive shows that like a lot of people are never gonna like watch Babylon 5, but all of the sci-fi they watch has elements of that in it. You know what I mean? It's like. But yeah, I don't know. I think that it can be problematic to just. I mean, once again, I love Terminator. We spent last year around this time we were at Comic-Con, and it was basically me ranting for 45 minutes about how much I love Terminator. But they need to decide on a storyline and fucking stick to it, right? Like you can't just like
the storyline that they should stick to is Terminator 2 and just like leave it over, just like kind of. Like Terminator 2 is a beautiful spot to end it, and you never need to make another Terminator movie ever again.
But it's so good.
It was perfect.
And like
now look what they've done.
Any like robot villain in a movie has to answer to Terminator, right? Like when they did Ultron in the Marvel movies, they had to make sure that it was significantly different than Skynet, that it was significantly different than the T-1000 and all the other Terminators. Like, you have to acknowledge it.
Significantly different. Yeah, they made him different than the Ultron in the comics. That's how much he was like neutered.
Yeah, but Ultron in the comics had like 5 or 10 reboots over the years.
He's like an absolute threat. I was like fucking shitting my pants when I saw that. I remember when they announced it, right? It was like Avengers: Age of Ultron. They had the title card, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, it's gonna be Ultron, man!
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking tits, man."
Can we talk about the Avengers? Can we talk about the sneakiest move the Marvel Studios ever did? Like before they announced Civil War, they really packed a bunch of nerds into San Diego Comic-Con and created a title card that said like Captain America: The Serpent Society, and then people were still jazzed about movies. They're still like, okay, we'll let you. We'll know. Okay, sure, we'll go see it.
But you know what? I would have. I mean, okay, Serag and I have argued for days about how Civil War was a shit movie based off an amazing comic. But
I think it's the
what?
It's the worst Marvel movie.
Yeah, he's wrong.
What?
It's a Spider-Man story that Spider-Man's not in. Like, fuck off.
What?
But
so wait, you're gonna sit here and tell me? But okay, first of all, whatever you have planned, fucking scrap it because this is the conversation.
All right. We can get
you've now you've released the Kraken. You've awakened the beast. You can't tell me. You can say you didn't like the movie. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that it's the worst Marvel movie, I'm going to ask you to explain your position, knowing Thor: The Dark World exists.
Thor: The Dark World. Thor: The Dark World would have been 2 great movies that they tried to jam into one, and it just was too much going on. But ultimately, the characters were there. Natalie Portman was there, and it was. They tried to do too much, but it sucked for it. Civil War, they tried to do not nearly enough with not the right characters, and it was if you're reading a book, it was one of those interlude chapters. They were setting up the next phase of Marvel without taking any effort to make the current phase exciting. They didn't kill Goliath. They didn't do Peter Parker revealing his identity. They didn't really explain why it was so important that they were fighting each other. They just were fighting each other. And it was called Civil War, and it took place in like 9 countries. Like, that's not the definition of a civil war. But
as a straight-up movie to watch, it was way more entertaining than, I would say, the first 2 Thor movies, hands down.
I disagree.
Just as an entertaining movie.
Okay, the first 2 Thor movies.
The best Marvel to get high to.
The best Marvel movie to get high and watch?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Actually, Troy's almost 100% correct. No, Troy's not. Troy's like Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's going to say Guardians 2 because he likes the soundtrack better.
Well, shut up, Troy. That's You know, the soundtrack is fucking
Hey,
banging.
the soundtrack
All right.
too makes me cry. Right?
I know, but it's a
Soundtrack makes
fucking
me cry.
banging soundtrack. But those are the two best ones to get high to, or Doctor Strange.
It's trippy as
If you-
fuck for sure.
Exactly. If you want to like really get in your head a little bit, do a psychedelic and watch Doctor Strange. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Almost as good as Scarface. But oh man, we listened to that song so many times that weekend.
All right. What do we got? What's up?
So have I convinced you that Civil War is the worst movie, or do we have to keep
No,
going?
not even close. No, what are you talking about?
I'll tell you
Bro,
what,
you're
Worst
talking about
Marvel
like
movie.
The opposite. Now, Troy.
no, not even. You're talking about the action. You're like, oh, the action, bro. The action, just the fucking airplane fight
story.
scene in Civil War is
The
better than
story
any
is what
action
the-
in the first two Thor movies. The story's fine.
Correct.
They
You're
had
right.
they had
You're right.
$250 million. They could make an action scene that you want to see if they
Yes.
like, no problem. It's
They made a bunch of them.
Marvel making a watchable action scene is not enough to call it a good movie at this point. That's their standard. You have to have a
said the
story
worst
that goes
movie.
with it.
You said the
Yeah,
worst movie.
it's the worst Marvel movie.
Oh, Thor
No,
Thor
you're
is the
way
worst
off.
one.
You're an
Yeah.
idiot. You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
I would watch.
Civil War. Even if you didn't like Civil War, you have to concede there's at least 3 Marvel movies that are not as good as it.
You have to. You have to.
Iron
Come
Man,
on.
Iron Man 2 and 3 are
Incredible Hulk.
unfortunately on that list for me, but I still would watch them again before I watch Civil War because it makes me angry.
Iron Man 3 is actually redeemable too, by the way.
Iron Man 3 is horrible.
It's
Iron Man
horrible.
3 is horrible.
It's
Captain
totally
Marvel was
redeemable
bad.
if you go in-
Just
Thor
don't
2
do the
was bad.
Mandarin. Just don't use that villain.
Anyway,
It's like
we're not
there's
talking about Iron
so
I feel-
many better villains in his history that you could have used.
Man. Right. No, absolutely.
Very frustrating.
Yeah, like
I
Blizzard.
just feel like Civil War.
Stilt man.
Yeah, Stillman, who actually showed up in the Daredevil Netflix series.
Did he really?
Yes, it's very sneaky. Daredevil gets like a suit made,
Yeah.
and it's like the guy who makes a suit, and in the back they have like the Stiltman costume like very far. It's actually very cool.
Right. Tony
love you,
Stark
Troy.
hasn't gotten drunk and knocked him off his stilts yet.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think Civil War is not a good comic. It's not. If you
What's
take
wrong
the,
with you? It's the
that
most
6
epic
or
Marvel
7
event of the last
run,
20 years.
It's not good. It's not a good. It's not.
It's a better
good.
Marvel
You
event
gotta
in the
read
last
all these
20
fucking side
years.
stories to get everything down, and it's so obviously they try to play the comic book. They try to play it like Captain America and Iron Man is like, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, but it's so clearly Iron Man is the bad guy, and it's so clearly Captain America is the good guy. Whereas the movie is actually very good at making it both seem like they're in the right and the wrong.
Because they
in
don't
my
explain
opinion.
why they're
And
fighting,
it's the
so
right
you never know who's the villain.
I love this.
They just it's not supposed to be a mystery. It's supposed to be like a political debate about like identity and like registering yourself as a super like a weapon of mass destruction if you have any abilities and like the repercussions of that. And it's like ties back to like the Holocaust and all these other movements that are like, you know, in like Hong Kong, like and closed circuit television and all these like massive systems where the government is watching you whether you want them to or not, and like we have to do something about it. They're fighting. Yay.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
They're fighting. Yeah.
Marvel movies don't really capture the main social problems that they tackle in comic books ever. They don't talk about the alcoholism from Tony Stark. They don't talk about the domestic abuse from Hank Pym. They don't talk about the Marvel movies are movies they have to sell to China to make ad revenue. They're not going to be killing a bunch of kids on like a superhero drug and then having a registration act where Mr. Fantastic clones someone and then murders his friend. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's too much.
That's the story,
the
dude.
Registration Act doesn't matter in the fucking
course.
movies.
Yeah.
It
That's
doesn't
the
matter.
problem.
There's nobody
That's
has
what
secret
it's about.
identities in the Marvel movies.
That's why they're
Nothing
fighting.
matters with Thanos doing the old snapperini, okay? Nothing matters.
Snapperini. I love it.
Maybe the reason that, like I
By
was
the way,
like,
me and Reese are writing a comic book called The Snapperini.
Oh, yeah?
It's going to be independent. We're going to publish it through Image.
That's crazy because I actually have a deal in the works with IDW for a comic called Snap Fu. It's a completely different idea based off not this conversation.
Speaking of comic books, have any of you guys watched The Old Guard on Netflix?
Not yet. I'm gonna.
Oh, right here is very good.
It's a very good action movie that has a little bit more heart than you think it would. It's actually really charming. Yeah,
I love that. I've heard great things about it. It's on my list.
It's Charlize Theron wielding an axe at people. It's awesome.
Perfect. Yo, did you see the season 2 trailer for The Boys?
I did.
Oh, looks like chaos.
You know what's so crazy about that is every time. What's that? Someone help me. What's his name? The guy who wrote that. He also wrote Preacher.
Garth Ennis.
Thank you. And he wrote The Punisher. This guy is one of the most fucking crazy writers. He's the most like hyper-violent, gore, crazy thing. And all of the shows they produce based on his books are like sanitized and still fucking crazy.
Yeah, like Preacher had some guts taken out of it for sure, but
oh wait, yeah, it's Garth Ennis, is it? No.
Yeah, Garth Ennis. That's how he pronounces it. Yes, Garth Ennis. Yes.
Ennis.
Oh. Like a Sith who's trying not to say Ennis. Yes.
Speaking of, I have like I have a autographed Preacher poster from Glenn Fabry that did all the covers of the original Preacher series, and he drew a little arse face on it. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna grab it so I can show it up.
Cool.
Oh shit! What are we gonna do?
Yeah. Oh, thank God he's gone.
Everybody hide! Everybody hide!
Holy shit! Oh no! Oh God! Thank God he's back.
You can see the reflection. Damn.
What? That's sick.
That's cool.
Hey. He drew an arse face.
That's one of my favorite things that I own, and we gave one away at one of the nerdy shows. He signed 2 for us, and we gave one away.
Oh shit!
Back when we were at Psychic City, but yeah, I just walked into 1 Million Comics one day, and he was just sitting there drawing. It was like
amazing. Wow.
A couple of days after Comic-Con, he was like still in town and just hanging out with Rob from 1 Million Comics, and he was just like, you should talk to this guy. He's like, whatever. And so we talked for as long as Shirley would pretend not to be bored, and then we got out of there.
So what do we got next? What's the next category we got?
Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready? You're the one manning the controls.
Yeah, but it's your list, so let's do it. Okay, here we go.
This is a thing we got, guys. We got to tell them what it is. We got this. We got an idea to do a top 10 list where only one of us knows what's on the list. You know, like the person who put the list together. Top 10 fictional Canadians this time. So only one of us knows what the list is all about each time we do it, and then we're going to find out together.
That's right. Cool. So yeah, today's list is top 10 fictional Canadians, and Serag has put the list together, and I genuinely have no idea what is about to happen.
Me neither.
Let's do it.
But
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Okay, and so I am looking at the comments. If you're watching live, if you disagree with Serag's choices, I'll try and be on top of the comments and let everyone know.
Can I just say something? Can I say something?
I mean, yeah.
I do not take top 10 lists seriously. So I mean, if you do have an opinion, I really don't give a shit.
So if you have a problem with it, just suck it up, is what you're saying?
I love this bad boy Serag.
I like before we've seen the list, you've already backpedaled twice.
It's not my idea.
I like how you're like, look, you're gonna see it. I just want to start off by saying I don't know, and second of all, whoop.
No. I want to be very clear. I actually love this list. I just am, I'm having fun with it. I just want to be clear. I'm having fun. And I'm having fun because I'm very serious and mad right now. Let's go.
Okay, let's start with number 10. And look at these awesome graphics that Reese put together. Like,
very nice.
You can tell the difference between...
Are you guys worried about opening the show with the Avengers theme song and getting struck down by Disney?
Well, it's actually not the Avengers theme song because this is actually in a minor chord. So the Avengers, I don't know if you know this, it's written in a major chord. This is a completely original piece of music that's actually in a minor chord.
It's
a little bit
written
different.
by tone shifting. You know, if it gets taken down, it gets taken down. We'll learn our lesson and move on. But
shift it even more, baby.
I've watched about 500 episodes of like straight up like full episodes of British television on YouTube recently, and none of that shit's getting taken down. So I don't know what the rules are anymore. We're gonna go with it until we can't.
That's high. Let's do it. Number 10.
Number 10, Serag. Are you ready?
Number 10, yeah. Fucking yeah, let's do it. Scott Pilgrim, baby. Woo!
Scott Pilgrim.
We all love him. We all know him. This was actually I actually purposely put him number 10 because it's 10 years of Scott Pilgrim versus the world. People have been talking about it. Like I think it's gonna be 10 years in August or some shit. Or maybe it was like last year. The point is that's 10 years roughly around. Everyone, it's like kind of like getting new life again, you know?
Right.
Nerds who were too young to watch it back then are like watching it now and they're like, holy shit, I didn't know this existed. And it's pretty fucking cool to see it kind of getting like a new life. So I love this movie and I love the play.
We were talking about like how Seth MacFarlane is like an Uber fan and like essentially writes love letters to the things likes. I think that this was like such a good love letter to just like there's so many in every scene of this movie. There's some sort of like reference to a game or a comic or something. It's like and
this isn't Seth MacFarlane.
I know it's not, but it's similarly a love letter to nerdom and
but good point though. The thing that didn't connect, like that's a good point for sure.
Eat it.
What I like about the image that you've chosen here, Serag, is that you've also chosen an actual Canadian with Michael Cera.
Yes, thank you.
As Scott Pilgrim, which I appreciate a lot as well.
I had Reese, you'll be happy to know I had a little bit of an anxiety attack.
Why would I be happy to know that you had an anxiety attack?
Scott Pilgrim.
I am happy about that.
Comic book Scott Pilgrim, because no matter what, someone's going to be angry. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, Michael Cera's Canadian. Let's do it. Let's go with the
double whammy, extra CanCon points. Give us grant money.
That's right. We're doing this for the money.
See,
you hear that? You grant money.
All right. Are you ready to move to number 9, Serag?
Yes, of course.
Let's see that graphic.
9. Let's see that sweet, sweet graphic. Number
9.
Oh, what is this?
The Adventures of Shirley Holmes.
What?
I don't know if you remember that show. I fucking barely remember it.
I definitely don't, but I do like people with that name.
Yeah.
It's the story of a long like ancestral relative, I guess. No, it's the other way around.
Descendant.
It's not the past. It's a future. It's like descendant. Thank you, smart people. It's a descendant, and yeah, I don't know. They find like Sherlock's hat or whatever in the attic, and they're like, "Oh fuck, I'm related to Sherlock Holmes, the fictional character." And then so they go about. Shirley goes about solving, minute Canadian crimes.
Right.
Just based on this screen cap alone, and never having watched an episode, I can confidently say this is the worst show I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it is honestly very great.
There was wasn't Ryan Gosling in like a young indie show for like a season or something? Like this reminds me of like
it was young Hercules.
Ryan Gosling was young Hercules?
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Who was young Indiana Jones then?
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix in the movie, and I'm not sure about the show.
And then Joaquin Phoenix.
No, it was no one. It was Sean Patrick Flannery and George Hall, which I don't know who they are. But late 90s, there was like a lot of like make like a young version of this character kind of thing. I feel like that was pretty popular, and thankfully,
exactly. James Bond Jr. and shit.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm glad that's not happening as much anymore, but I am curious about this now.
You're telling me you don't want to see John Wick Jr.?
But the twist of it is actually just his dog with a gun.
It starts he hates dogs, and then it's like the story of him actually like learning to like have a dog and love it, and then jump to John Wick, and then you understand what it's just like a coming of age story about him and his dog. Okay, number 8, what do you got for us here, Serag? Oh God.
Number 8, I've got the Don't You Put It In Your Mouth puppets. Because let's be real, these fucking puppets, they save a lot of lives.
Yeah,
They save
I
a
mean,
lot of dumb lives for a lot of dumb kids.
I still remember the song. Like as soon as it came up, I knew what it was.
But you put it in your mouth.
It might be good. It might be good to eat.
It's not good to eat.
Like a muffin or a treat.
Like a muffin or a treat. It's amazing. This is amazing. What a good.
You
good
could get
Serag.
sick. Ick.
Ick.
I want this on a shirt.
What a
Honestly,
train
they
wreck.
look sick. They look blue. They look like they need some medicine.
This is like as much budget as the CBC or whoever would give these people to make like a Muppets ripoff, and they're like, I guess we're making these things at Michael's.
$75,000.
Probably.
$75K easy.
Okay.
Honestly, this song though, the "Don't You Put It in Your Mouth" song should be our national anthem. We should switch it up. But that's just me. I don't know.
I don't want to spoil anything here, but I'm hoping that another legendary commercial character will come up.
I know you're expecting it.
Hippo?
No,
Is it the little hippo?
No, the house hippo. The house. No, not even the. You're talking about like the chocolate bars guy. I was thinking
the
Astar.
guy?
Yeah, Astar the robot. You know, like the.
Oh, Astar the robot.
I could put my arm back on,
Eyelids
but
can
you
grow
can't.
back. Yours
Yeah.
cannot.
That's amazing.
Stay safe. All right, are we ready to move on here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
Number
I don't even
7.
know the next one. But just do it. I forgot who the.
Oh,
Duke.
Oh, yeah, Duke Kaboom. Of course. How did I forget? Duke Kaboom.
Yes.
I didn't watch Toy Story 4, so you guys talk about him.
I love this man. Voiced by Keanu Reeves or our
Right.
good friend Mike Patterson in the Quebecois version.
oh yeah.
Again, 2 Canadians. Yeah, what
Canadian
a great
playing a
character.
Canadian.
Yeah, fearless daredevil who's cast away by the heartless Régent. Oh my God, what a great character!
What kind of lunatic would throw that toy out? Like
Yeah.
Woody, I would be sick of it by like age 9, but this guy would be on my desk right now.
Well, I'm just gonna say the kid's name was Régent, so you can draw your own conclusions. Okay.
All right.
I love all the points of articulation on Duke Kaboom. That's just me. I don't know. I'm a big
He's
fan.
got joints.
All right.
Joints on joints on joints on joints.
All right, moving on. Number 6.
Number
What
6.
will it be?
We got who do we got? We got Gordy, the remedial student in that one episode of The Simpsons.
They think I'm slow, eh?
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, I think
That's
this
my
character
national hero.
set Canadians back like 15 years in American
Yeah,
time.
man. Between that and South Park, we never got ahead.
Yeah, we never stood a chance, guys.
Trust me, it was. I try to keep it. Like it was a real toss-up between this kid and then Terrence and Philip, and I think I made the right call.
Yeah, you did. You killed it. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5. Are we ready for this?
Number 5. Yeah. Number 5.
Oh!
Let's do it.
Video Arcade Top 10.
From Video Arcade Top 10.
Letter time. It's letter time.
I love this guy. Yeah.
But is
He
he
raised-
fictional?
No, this is a real man, Serag.
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing, Reese. Here's the thing. He claims that his name is actually Nicholas Pickles. I think that's horse shit. No grown man is called Nicholas Pickles, okay? No fucking grown man is called that. You're a fictional character at that point if you don't use your real name. That's how that works.
Okay.
That's how that works.
His name was on the show was Nicholas Thickless.
No, it's Nicholas Pickles.
His name in real life is Nicholas Pickles, and I refuse to believe it. He goes around. My name's Nicholas Pickles. Look at me. I don't know what he does now. I'm assuming it's a lot of
he has to go. He has to go to the SAAQ, and they have to be like, Monsieur Pickles. He's like,
yeah, that's what you're not getting. It's actually a very Greek name, and
pronounced Pickles.
Look, it could be. It could be, and I could be extremely, what's the word?
Racist.
When you're
racist.
Like, not racist, but almost.
ignorant.
But, it could be that. Okay.
Prejudice.
You know what? Someone please start a Nicholas Pickles truther hashtag so we can find out what's going on with this guy.
Let's get this guy's birth certificate.
I'm not looking up his Wikipedia.
I would like the Nerdy Show, the three of you, to use all of your combined media force to organize an interview with Nicholas Pickles.
I think that it would not be that hard.
Because we need to give Serag some closure. This is like the 8th time he's brought it up. We have to really close the loop on this one.
Okay, let's real quick do a 30-second call out to him, and we'll send it to him. Nicholas Pickles, we want you to be the next guest on the Nerdy Show. We got to talk about your career. Is your name real? What else, Serag?
Oh, I want to know what the fuck happened to all the letters I wrote to Video and Arcade Top 10. I wrote almost every goddamn week, and you motherfuckers read one letter. One letter.
So after this,
I'm coming for you, Nicholas.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. After this, we're gonna cut that little part into a clip, and we're gonna barrage him on Twitter with it, and Instagram, wherever he exists. We'll see if we can get him as a guest and not get a cease and desist order. And tune in
or
next
do
time.
the Video and Arcade Top 10 people.
Yeah, I don't know, from his people. He's a celebrity, or he was. He probably has people.
Very litigious. You wouldn't even know. Yeah.
You don't know how many times he has one written. You don't know how many times he's had to send that letter.
Well, most of those letters in the bag are actually cease and desists.
Yeah.
All right, who are you calling up next here, Serag? Who's your next target?
This list is taking a turn. Number 4 on the list of fictional Canadians.
Number 4 is, it's pretty standard. It's Anna Green Gables.
Anna Green Gables, okay. From my home province of Prince Edward Island. I've never read the book or seen the play.
I saw that TV show.
The new one?
No, but the thing is, Troy, if you're born in Prince Edward Island, when you sleep, someone will appear from the ocean and whisper the story into your ear, so you subconsciously do know it.
Yeah, one of my school trips, we went to Lucy Maud Montgomery's house, grade 7 or 6 or something, and I hadn't read the story and didn't care about it, so I was like, so we're just going to a fucking house today? What the hell kind of school trip is this?
Public education, baby.
Yeah, it was not the best trip.
You just get there and you're like, so where's the attic she stayed in? You
completely
got the wrong
I was going to make a similar joke and then thought maybe I shouldn't do that. So I'm glad you pulled the trigger.
Cool.
All right, next. Number 3, baby.
I picked her not only because she's an icon, obviously, but also because I think here at TNS we're really progressive, and we're here to say that even if you're a ginger, you'll make the top 10. You won't break top 3 because you're a ginger, but you'll definitely make it right close to it by being number 4.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, good on
runner up for the podium, and so I haven't seen this thing, but Shirley told me the other day, because Shirley's full name is Shirley Ann, and she was told me that she was kind of obsessed with the story growing up, because Anna Green Gables' full name is Anne Shirley, apparently. So
yes,
it is. So that's a connection. That's the only connection I know. That's what I know about Anna Green Gables having come from PEI.
That her name is similar to that of your spouse.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay.
You ready?
Thank you for that.
Yeah, let's do that. Number 3, baby.
Number three.
Oh.
Food on the Canadian Tire money. Number 3. That
Interesting.
guy. That guy
For
on the
years.
Canadian Tire money. Let me tell you something about that guy. I did very little research, but I did research nonetheless. It's not a real person.
What?
They based it on. This is what the Wikipedia said, but they based it on the everyday
Monopoly man.
Like everyday blue collar man from the 1950s. That's apparently what every man looked like in the 1950s in Canada.
The average Canadian man.
Yeah. So that's...
And you know what? Growing up in the 1950s, I can confirm that's what we all looked like. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is actually a really good one because I definitely have seen this dumbass's face before, but like, I've never thought once about like who is Mr. Tire of Canadian Tire.
I thought he was the signature on the right. That's what I thought.
Now? Because he does have a name.
What's his name?
It's like Sandy McTire or some shit. It's
No
like
way.
Super fucking. It's super lame, but it is something like Speedy McTire or some shit like that.
Wow.
How do you enter?
So is he wearing a beret or is it like his hair is flipped?
That's one of those.
No, it's like that Scottish hat with the little tuft on it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's lots of Scottish people in Canada, obviously, but like, why is the Canadian Tire mascot wearing like a big Scottish hat? Like, it should be like a Mountie hat or something.
I would wager that the founder of this company was probably a Scottish person.
Right. You know, they get away with a lot. Like, every single one of us gets this money and it's like, and then like immediately like puts it in their pocket or puts it in that like little bin by the cash register. I've never looked at a piece of Canadian Tire money for more than like 3 seconds.
I have so much. I've got briefcases full. I like to carry it around to be powerful.
We never talk about how Canadian Tire tried to usurp the Canadian government by creating their own currency and destabilize the economy. So I think this guy is who they were trying to install as a puppet prime minister.
I would vote for this guy, honestly.
Sandy McTire? You have my
vote. He's got the scarf. He looks like he's been through a few winters.
He runs on the platform of low prices. I like him.
Yeah, massive discounts, redeemable only at Canadian Tire.
I love that. Who do we got at number 2? I can't wait to see who number 2 is.
Number 2.
It's a doozy, a controversial one.
Yeah.
Oh, I was sure you were going to put him number 1.
I was afraid he wasn't going to make the list. Serag's a wild card.
Yeah, I know.
So
I feel like I had to put him on because if not, I'll probably get a death threat or two.
That's it.
But he is
I don't think this show could survive the backlash of not having Wolverine on this list.
Yeah, fair enough.
No. We're not starting on controversy. Controversy.
But what a great fucking character, though.
So cool. I mean, I love him. He's right up here on my wall.
Logan, of course.
Look at this.
But let me ask, like,
hell yeah.
Oh, you got one? I don't have a Wolverine handy. Damn.
Yeah. Nice.
I got a Batman Lego though.
Fuck yeah.
Dope.
I've got a bunch of characters just in case you reference them.
Yeah.
Really hoping for that Howard the Duck.
Oh, wait, here we go.
So, okay, why number 2? Obviously, he's going to be on the list. I mean, I guess the answer has to be number 1 is why he's
like
number 2.
He's as Canadian as apple pie. I mean, he's like probably our biggest import or export, whatever the word is. He's that. I mean, he's worldwide, baby. Everybody knows who Wolverine is.
But
when people ask me, and I get asked this all the time, Troy, who's your favorite X-Men? Okay, and I always want to go, it's Wolverine, but it's not fair because he's bigger than the X-Men. This dude's been on every fucking team ever. He's been on every solo mission known to mankind. Like, he's done it all. It's like almost unfair to even call him. And he's Canadian. That's the best part. It's almost unfair to call him an X-Men. So anyway,
this might be controversial, but when I was a kid watching the X-Men cartoons, I hated Wolverine because I was like, he's always making life so hard for Cyclops that's just trying to run a team here. And Cyclops obviously being the most powerful of the X-Men, he could just cut through all his problems by looking at them.
I guess so. I think it's weird that you, Troy, would be on Cyclops' side because he's like kind of a Boy Scout, and you're obviously a bad boy, you know?
Real bad boy.
I don't think that Wolverine would want to hang out with me, but I think Cyclops would like try and like be my big brother, you know? Like
This is just Troy wanting a family.
Cyclops.
Just looked at the X-Men like a big family you could go to and hang out.
Didn't we all? Isn't that the point of X-Men? Like a school for misfit children. Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
The thing about Wolverine is that he wasn't created by a Canadian and he wasn't played by a Canadian. So
okay, so here's the thing. So if you put him number 2, but
yeah, I see what you're doing there.
Who's number 1? Exactly.
Did you put number 1?
That's why I put number 2.
But let's just linger on this beautiful graphic that Reese put together for a second.
Graphics.
Number 1. Oh,
yes. Run with us.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, buddy.
Best
Yeah,
theme song of any show ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you, Troy.
You can't. And Cyril Sneer, they're all so iconic. Lady Botten, like, come on. This was a good pick. I like that as a number 1.
Yeah, great pick. And if you don't know what the raccoons are, get cultured.
The raccoons.
Exactly.
The raccoons.
They're almost as popular as Shirley Holmes. Almost as popular as Shirley Holmes. And just as iconic.
I literally,
and I don't think there's a better list out there. Watch Mojo, eat your fucking heart out.
Yeah, eat our asses, Watch Mojo. I literally found like 13 covers of this, like the theme song from this thing on Spotify the other day and favorited them all. There was some like Norwegian metal band that did a cover of the song, and like I went down the rabbit hole on
so good.
For no reason. Like I just was like, that's a good song. Let's see if it's on Spotify. Discovered this whole shit, and then it was an afternoon.
Yeah, when you put us on when you plug this with the trailer, you got to put that song on there.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's so good.
I wonder if it's been long enough that we can steal that song.
Oh, 100%. We just got to make it into a minor chorus.
That was the easiest number 1 to think of. As soon as
that was so good.
I know who's number 1.
I mean, I'm surprised. Like, I would be surprised if you don't get some heat for putting Wolverine second. But in light of this, how could you not?
I'm a huge Wolverine fan. I'm totally okay with it because even though I love Wolverine, my first love were the goddamn raccoons. Okay, they were great.
I didn't put Deadpool on the list. I didn't put Trevor from GTA 5. I didn't put those those brothers there that are funny. The Trailer Park Boys, whatever.
Brothers.
I forgot about. I'm aware. I don't care. I want to be funny.
Did you just say the Trailer Park Boys are brothers?
Yeah, they're brothers.
No. I'm sorry. The Trailer Park Boys, and what are the Doug and Bob McKenzie?
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
So I'm saying the 2 brothers there, and then the Trailer Park Boys.
Right.
I just forgot their names.
Gotcha. Yeah. So this has been our Nerdy Show Top 10. Went off without a hitch. Top 10 fictional Canadians. And I had a lot of fun.
That was great. Good list, right?
That was a good list.
I'm having so much fun in the box.
You're really making use of your space there, bud.
Can't wait to get out of there.
So we've pretty much jumped all over from the Marvel movies to the raccoons to actors that you all obviously knew. I can't believe I didn't fool you at all with any of those actors.
Not one.
And I eliminated so many people, like the whole music side of it. I took all the musicians out because I was like, they're gonna know Alanis, they're gonna know Leonard Cohen, they're gonna know all these other people. I would have to like find just a musician you hadn't heard of. And then whatever. So your guys
Really good.
Canadian celebrity knowledge is pretty up there. I'll give you that. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that's happening in Canadian culture that we should mention? No one's got anything.
Oh no, everything's going fine and dandy in our country right now.
Yeah, everything's great. Keep that border closed and we'll be
Everything's
fine.
I think we can wrap this up.
Lawrence, you've done a few sets since it's opened up. You've done stand-up a few times.
I have.
I'm doing my first one tomorrow. Serag, you have too, eh?
I did my first one, last week, and then I've got a few things lined up. Yeah.
What about you, Reese?
I did like a halfway show, and in Toronto there's a couple shows that are going on, but I haven't been on one yet, but I have a couple shows coming up. End of August I got a campground sesh coming. 3 days, baby. Camping
shows.
Exactly. I'm doing some outdoor shit coming up, so keep your eyes peeled in Toronto and in Montreal area.
So Serag and Lawrence, before we wrap this up with plugs and stuff, I just wanted to kind of ask, how different does it feel to perform, and there's all these precautions that need to be taken to make everyone safe and everything.
I mean, it's not bad. It's, I think we live in a world where we have to be conscious about our impact on the people around us now more than ever. So I think that it's kind of just exciting to be able to get back on stage. And I think, if you want to do it, you have to do it safely, because if not, they're going to shut everything down again, and then none of us get to perform. So obviously it's not how we want it to be, but it's what we got. So we should just enjoy it. Yeah,
fair enough. I'm pumped about tomorrow night. I'm doing the first one, and I was thinking about it a week and a half ago. Before I was in comedy, I was in bands, right? And probably when I was 15, I started playing, and they weren't good bands, but I was in bands. And I don't think that I've ever gone 3 or 4 months without being on stage since I was 14 or 15 years old. So this is the longest break I've had to take, and I'm a little bit nervous about it.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some rust. I would say just remember why you like doing it, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. Because the first set back, I was trying to imagine I would be in peak form. Yeah. Which you stop going to the gym, and then you try and lift a personal max, and then you just end up hurting yourself. So don't do any of that shit.
Right.
Don't lift weights on stage, Troy.
I thought that was the thing now. You have to be working out while you perform. Okay, let's jump into...
Picture me naked when you're on stage.
I always do, buddy.
I always do.
Let's jump into some plugs here. We'll start with Lawrence. What do you got going on in the next little bit?
Ladies and gentlemen, August 12th, if you're in Montreal, I'm going to be at the Royal Mount Drive-In for a charity event. All benefits are going to a charity called On Our Own 03, which is a charity I work with every year now, and they're absolutely wonderful. They help single mothers and low-income families, and they help get them a lot of necessary stuff. So check the Royal Mount Drive-In for tickets. It's going to be a great time. Joey Elias, Rodney Ramsey, Harrison Weinreb, Amanda McQueen, and myself. Check it out.
Damn, that's a good lineup. Nice. So where can they find you?
All the socials at Lully514. It's on the little scrolly thing in the bottom.
That's right. It is now. Cool. So check them out, Lully514, Instagram and Twitter. And now we'll jump over to Serag. What do you got going on in the world?
Gone.
What an entrance again.
Just follow me on the socials. Look up my name, Serag Meletian. All right, I'm Meletian Falcon on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever. Just look up my name. Follow everything I do. The Nerdy Show and the Nerdy Show. All right, I love you. Bye.
Nice. Reese, we'll jumping over to you. What do you got going on?
Well, every day I do the live stream sesh, so you can watch that at 4:20. at my Instagram page, RE_Reese. And also, I got some sesh shows coming back, baby. Last weekend of August. It's coming. It's coming. We got a 3-day campground sesh, that's going to be popping off. Some more information will come soon. And I've got some meetings for some other shows around Ontario. So get ready. The sesh is coming back big. It's coming back big.
Nice.
Safe, which is important. Most of my shows I'm looking to do outside until we can sort this out a little bit.
Right. Nice. And so for myself, I just want to shout out the Nerdy Show. I fucking love doing this show. I'm so glad we're back. During all this stuff, I spent some time working on a website with the help of Georgia Howe, who's a good friend of the comedy community here. And so check out nerdyshow.ca. We got a shop. We got all our classic content from previous Comic-Cons and stuff like that. I'm really proud of the timelines of Terminator, but I'm the only one that cares about Terminator anymore. Anyway, check out our website. I put a lot of work into it, and we'll be back in probably, I think we're going to do another full episode Sunday, July 26th, but I think we'll do a top 10 list in between now and then to keep some stuff rolling out.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything we missed?
No, this is fantastic. Thanks. We're back, baby. Zap.
So our next episode, tune in. We're going to be talking all about movies that were made in Canada that people don't know were made in Canada. Hopefully I'll be able to fool you guys with a little bit of that. And we're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.